Brand doesn't matter. We hear this all the time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We've got so many players out there in the market. And I just remember this one proclamation by a particular brand out there. They ran a full page in a real estate magazine, and it said, "We don't spend a dime on advertising or marketing our agents, and we're proud of it." I rue every day the fact that I did not rip that out.
That's funny.
Copy it and just proliferate it out to the agent population.
Because that is...
it's the antithesis of certainly what RE/MAX stands for.
For sure.
And all the national brands that just do a great job, you know?
Yeah.
So, brand, does it matter?
I think that there's fundamentally different questions when you talk about brands. So to the consumer, we hear a lot of times from agents, well, I am the brand, right? So people choose to work with me. Doesn't matter what brand I'm with. I am the brand. And I think that on some levels that is absolutely true. But where the point gets missed is the brand behind you does validate you. Does that make sense?
100%.
So if you're sitting there on a listing presentation or working with a buyer and doing a buyer broker presentation, as we're starting to do now on a regular basis, you have to be able to not just articulate your value, but having that presence behind you, like with RE/MAX, makes a huge difference, because now you're not answering questions on validity or industry, you know.
That's the hard part, is you're like pre-sold in the marketplace by the brand. So no one's really mentioning that or telling you how wonderful it is, but it is a substantial part in many ways.
Absolutely.
Why people say, that feels good. I know you, Jason, I love you, but boy, that balloon, I know there's more behind you than just you. In case there's trouble, I want to be taken care of.
Well, and every market is different. Obviously, we're here in one of the most hyper-competitive markets in the nation. I mean, just taking Orange County alone, from Orange County Coastal, with the luxury boutiques that are out there, the major brand players, the discount brands that are out there, the new stuff that's coming down the pipe, there's got to be at least, I was thinking about before we did this podcast, I could name 25 brands off the top of my head, right?
Yeah.
And each one, so you've got your consumer brand facing, but then you've got your agent brand, right? Which is where we come in.
Which is very important. We got to make sure that's
absolutely
there.
So when we're talking to, you know, agents that we're looking to attract in the marketplace about why RE/MAX, you know, especially here in the heart of Orange County and Irvine, you've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of choices, but from a national perspective, to bring that power here. International perspective.
Yes.
We have, I think it's over 12,000 offices that internationally.
145,000 agents.
Yeah, internationally and domestically speaking. And from a brand awareness perspective, up until the end of 2023, it was like on a blind test with no prompting or anything, RE/MAX was number one.
Unaided awareness.
Unaided awareness, number one by a long shot.
So unaided awareness is, off the top of your head, name a real estate brokerage. 35%, I believe, was it, of the time? RE/MAX is what comes out of people's mouths.
Right. And when you look at, especially here coastally and in Southern California, I mean, they were at 3%, 2% that actually could articulate what that brand non-existent.
Exactly, 1%.
Yeah. So I think that it's really important when you're looking to align yourself as a professional in this industry to be with a brand that has that kind of presence.
Yeah, especially with RE/MAX. And I do it two ways. So someone maybe who's in a new area but's an experienced agent, or maybe someone who's new to the business. I always use the analogy. I'm like, we drive out to the desert right here. We're going to go out to Palm Springs.
Right.
You got the kids in the back. They're screaming their heads off. You're like, oh my God, we got to pull over and eat. It's just as these kids are driving me crazy. You pull off and you look to the left, there's a McDonald's. And you look to the right and there's an eat restaurant. Ever seen eat restaurants? Just say eat. Where are you going to go?
McDonald's.
Exactly. Are you going there because the food's terrific?
No.
No, the food's terrible, but you know what you're going to get. They've branded themselves as to, hey, you know what you're going to get when you go here. Eat, it could turn out to be the best meal of your life. you're not willing to take a chance. You're
Right.
like, no, I'm going to McDonald's. So there's a huge attraction in that way.
Absolutely.
Now, for more experienced agents, again, it's you've progressed to be in front of the brand and the brand's behind you, right?
Right.
To give that validity and recognition. And with RE/MAX, they're the largest residential international real estate company, right? We're in over 110 countries. Brick and mortar, because a lot of companies, I'm sure you've seen them, oh yeah, we're all over the world in however many countries. Oh yeah, we're in a collaborative website. Oh, well, that's great. We can call over 110 countries and get feet on the ground and do business.
That's
and
impressive.
Yeah, and we know we're in such a mobile world these days. So,
Right.
been in the business 25 years. When I got here, RE/MAX was already in over like 90 nations. Didn't make as much sense back then. It was like, okay, that's cool, but we weren't so mobile, literally like 25 years ago. Now, people are flying in from all over the world. They already know who RE/MAX is. They've
Absolutely.
already been branded. So when they come here and don't have an agent, they seek comfort and familiarity.
Right.
They seek RE/MAX.
Well, not just that, which is true and awesome, but we have in our office alone here, we have multiple cultures
Oh.
that from different parts of the globe. So when you're talking about inbound opportunities, whether it's from China or India or different parts of Southeast Asia, in Europe, I mean
Africa, South America.
they're coming
everywhere.
here and collaborating, and like you said, it just transcends and it's a global brand, which is wonderful. What are some other great things that you've enjoyed? I mean, you've been with RE/MAX 25 years. How have you seen the brand stand the test of time?
I kind of hate to say this, but I'll say it. It's a culture at the leadership level. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about RE/MAX is the collaboration. It's an ownership and a management of entrepreneurs, right? And it's individuals mainly, We're franchises for the most part.
Right.
So we have all these people who belong to communities and want to be leaders in an entrepreneurial sense, and they get into RE/MAX, and the collaboration, the support, everything about the brand is just amazing. Whereas
awesome.
a lot of other places, right, you're being dictated down on because
Right.
of how the structure is. Man, I pick up the phone, I've got broker friends across the nation. I've got them in Ohio, New York, New Jersey, right here in Orange County, Northern California, Texas, Florida. And best thing is I see them at least once a year at R4,
Right.
coming up on February 28th, 2025. But I love to pick up the phone. If it's local, hey, here's what I'm seeing going on. What's going on? How are you guys doing? If it's more of a national, I'll like Florida. I've been calling Florida recently because of the insurance issues going on over there.
Right.
I'm like, hey, we have insurance issues. What are yours like? I didn't know people were literally leaving the state of Florida because of the insurance issue over there. And it's only going to get worse. The hurricane's about to land there
Right.
in about 6 or 8 hours, and it's going to get ugly. Anyways, so back to that. That's one of my favorite things is the network, the support,
Right.
and the camaraderie. Just a wonderful culture.
I absolutely think that that's true. And, when you look at the brands that we're competing against, there's so many that have had their inception in the last year, right? Or the last 5 years. And it's like, oh, we're new and we're this, and we're going to provide you this. But what I've noticed with a lot of those brands, not all, but a lot of them, is they're not actually focused on helping the agents become better business owners and professional real estate agents. And I can say that, humbly and honestly, when you look at the different companies that are out there, it's like, we'll do it for less, or you can have this or that, or whatever it is. But there's never an actual, I have not yet to experience, not all of them, there's a couple out there that I'm not going to give them a free plug on, but for the most part, it's like, there is no true value. And one of the things about our
But that's
brand,
by design. You're right. They look at it and they say, what do agents want? What do we keep hearing? Okay, we're going to give that to them, but they don't tell you to what detriment to those agents
Right.
they're getting what they want. It's just, what's the easy sell? Let's
Right.
make the money. That's sad.
absolutely, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, what we're looking to build here under the RE/MAX umbrella is empowering agents to build their business, right? And
Yes.
we do it by example through how we conduct ourselves here with full-time professionals. And I mean, the company's been around. I mean, when I say company, I mean RE/MAX Premier Realty has been around since the 80s.
87.
87.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tremendous stay power in Irvine. I mean, when you were a kid, you were riding around in orange fields down
That's
here.
right. We were just talking about that.
I mean, and here we are, you know, in not a completely built out Irvine. There's still some building going on, but for the most part, it's a completely different world here in Irvine.
If you left Irvine in 1987 and just came back and they dropped you in the middle of Irvine, you might say, "Where am I?"
Oh, I'm sure.
Is how much it's changed.
And it's the hub, at least in my opinion. I don't know if you would agree or disagree. Irvine is the business hub of Orange County. It is. I would equate Irvine to, you know, the city of San Diego or the city of Los Angeles or San Francisco for Orange County.
Absolutely.
And which is tremendous. There's so many different businesses. I mean, it's one of the financial market hubs of the West Coast. So, I mean, being in real estate where, I mean, what 1/5 the economy is, you know, housing related. I mean, it's just a great place to be.
Big thing. Yeah, one of the other things, as I'm thinking as you're asking me these questions that I do love the international aspect of RE/MAX. It's absolutely amazing, and I love going to the R4 every year, and I always pitch to our agents going there, you've got to go to the International Referral Exchange.
So,
Referrals, that's a whole nother aspect. We could talk about the RE/MAX culture
Absolutely.
and how we trade business, but they always have an international referral exchange. They give you 2 or 3 hours, and they put this area together for people to come. I didn't even realize what RE/MAX was till I went to this. I mean, we're talking about places like Mongolia, you know?
it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
right?
When you think about it.
And Southeast Asian areas, but it's really cool to see all these people that are so excited about RE/MAX, about real estate, and you walk in, and one of the things a lot of them like to do is, what's our cultural, what's our national liquor, right? So you're in Italy, you're getting wine. You go see Ireland, and you're drinking Guinness, you know?
Yeah, that's
you go to Costa Rica, you're drinking Guaro. You go to Australia, you're drinking Foster's. I mean, if you don't watch yourself, you'll come wobbling out of that exchange event. But
We're not promoting drinking.
but the energy and everything about that is an amazing aspect. That
For sure,
that
I've been to
permeates throughout
R4 a couple
RE/MAX.
times. It's and one of my favorite things about, you know, our company here at RE/MAX Premier Realty, as well as just holistically RE/MAX, there's a pride of the business. I mean, some of the top agents that I know, with their gross commission income, with the teams they built, they're RE/MAX through and through. And I mean, you could look at any brand and any company and say, okay, there's your $1 million producer, or there's your top agent. I would challenge anyone out there to look at RE/MAX internationally, domestically, holistically, from top to bottom. I mean, we have more top $1 million producing agents than any other brand out there in the marketplace. And that is a research statistic that I have checked. Yeah. And we're looking to add more of them here, whether we are building them up from making $100,000 or taking them in as brand new agents that are committed full time. We've got some really top talent here.
Absolutely. If you're proud of what you do, and you love this as a career, man, you'll find a home with us for sure.
For sure.
All right.
Anything else?
That's the brand of RE/MAX.
All right.